police and logistical assets.
Secretary General Ban Ki-moon has recommended sending in an extra 5,500 soldiers and over 400 extra police. That would bring the total number of United Nations personnel to over 12,000 in South Sudan. At the same time, the UN is calling for negotiations between the South Sudanese authorities and rebel forces loyal to the former Vice President of South Sudan, Riek Machar. Machar said he's ready for talks, but only after President Salva Kiir had released his political allies.
Of this August House.
We are ready to start dialogue as soon as my comrades under detention, the SPLM leaders, whether the nominated to you, are released and evacuated to a neutral ground.
President Salva Kiir says that government forces are preparing an imminent attack on the town Bor, currently held by rebel forces. As such, negotiations look unlikely. Meanwhile, over 30,000 displaced civilians have sought refuge at different United Nations compounds since the fighting began in the capital Juba over a week ago, and hundreds of people have died in the fighting.
Well, new reports emerging from Juba's Syrian government troops are claiming to have taken over the town of Bo after fierce clashes with rebels there. And before we end this edition of the news, a quick reminder of the day's top stories. Christians are gearing up for the feast of Christmas against the backdrop of calls by church leaders of humanity to live in peace. Hundreds of enthusiastic volunteers from the Central River region have descended on President Jammeh's mass farms in Jiramba and Kampala for a mask vesting exercise. The United Nations has pledged to deploy an additional 5,000 troops and civilian police to deal with the worsening security situation in South Sudan. And the Vatican has said it is expecting a record number of people to witness Pope Francis' first Christmas Eve midnight mass as pontiff at the St. Peter's Basilica in the Vatican City. That's all in this edition of the news. Thank you very much for your time. Enjoy this one.